Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar organized by DocCity in partnership with UCD Smurfit School. My name is Carolina, nice to meet you all, and I'll be your host for today's event on behalf of DocCity. I see here that the first people are already starting to join in. We are going to wait a few minutes before starting to allow everyone to connect. In the meantime, feel free to say hi on our chat here in Zoom, and please tell us where you are from, since we are very curious. First of all, I want to thank everyone for joining us and thank our panelists for being here with us today. If you want, you can briefly introduce yourself and tell us something more about yourself. Yola and Alistair.
So I'll take that first. Hi there, everybody. My name's Alistair. So I'm a recruitment and admissions manager here at UCD Smurfit. So I'll be talking about the admissions side of things, introducing in the school today. And yeah, so hopefully if you have any questions, hopefully it would be an informative session today.
Thank you, Alistair. Hi, everyone. My name is Yola. Here in the UCD Smurfit School, I look after international students. So I support anybody who is coming to study in UCD from outside of Ireland. From the moment you guys inquire about the course, during the spring and summer, what we call onboarding. So during the time when you're getting ready to come here to Dublin, and then post-arrival, I organize integration events. I basically holistically ensure that all international students are very happy here in UCD. So you're very welcome to the session, and I look forward to it later on. And I'm going to hand over to a student of ours, Manchi Kia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Manchi, and I'm also a student ambassador. I'm in program, so I'm welcoming all the questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you and welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. And together with them, we're going to discover the range of master's programs and how to apply. And also we will see an international student liaison that will give you advice on moving to Ireland. And you will also learn from current international master students about their experience of moving to Dublin and Smurfit School. You'll also have the possibility to interact with our speakers and ask them questions. And talking about that, I'd like to remind you that after the presentation, we will have a Q&A session where you'll be able to ask direct questions to the panelists. So don't be shy and just type all of your questions in the Q&A section here on Zoom, and we'll go through them at the end of the webinar. Also, for those of you interested in receiving a certificate of attendance by DocCity for this free masterclass, stay tuned because we will post the link to get the certificate at the end of the session. So I think that we are able to start now. Welcome to those who just joined us. I will share with you a brief video, and then Alistair, the floor will be yours. So I'm gonna share my screen.
Everybody's different.
We come from different places, and we all want different things. I want to grow my career.
I want to make a difference.
I want my research to have an impact. But we all have one thing in common.
We want to be somewhere we can fulfill our ambition. Not just a graduate business school, but a global community full of people who want to go further.
Push harder, achieve more.
Do things differently.
With the faculty producing cutting-edge research that's making a difference.
Changing how we think.
A community that's making its mark on Ireland and the world.
At Ireland's highly ranked and triple accredited business school, offering internationally recognised MBA and Business Masters programmes. Distinctively located in Dublin, one of the friendliest, most exciting cities in the world, and home to the world's leading companies. A local campus with a global network of alumni, where students connect with industry leaders and each other.
Where faculty address the biggest problems of today, creating real solutions for the real world. We'll all end up with different careers.
in different places.
Making an impact in business and society.
We're all different.
But we'll always have one thing in common.
UCD Michael Smurfit Graduate Business School. Creating a better future.
Okay, right. Well, I'll take over from here. So that was just a little video to show our university here. And let me just share my screen and presentation with you. Okay. Let's just try and get this onto full screen. Can you see the can you see the full screen there, or is it showing this presentation view as well for you?
It's not a full screen, not just yet.
Not okay. Here we go.
But it's okay. Oh, perfect. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, great. Okay, just make sure it's the correct. Okay, thank you everybody for joining. So I'll just and the title of this webinar today is Accelerate Your Career with a Masters from a Top 1% Business School. So just to go over the agenda for today, so I'm going to go through first of all with you and give a presentation, introduce the school, explain about our programs, and then I'll hand over to Yola, who will talk about relocating to Dublin. And you know, as the International Students Liaison Officer, she knows a lot. She knows about how to help the international students. So she'll be great to listen to. And then we'll have the panel discussion as with Manchi, who introduced herself before, who's a current student here. So we'll have a little chat with her. And then we'll have a live Q&A session at the end. Any questions you've got, feel free to send them in, and then myself or Yola will give you some answers for those. Okay, so that's sort of the briefing and the agenda for today. So if you do have any questions, feel free to pop them into the Q&A box along the way. Okay, so let me just take you through a little bit, explain about the business school here. So we are the Michael Smurfit Graduate Business School, Ireland's leading top-ranked business school. We've got over 20 MSc programs, which I'll show you soon. So there's a wide range of programs, and they tend to get quite specialized as well. So with the idea being that you pick a program that will then help you go into the field of work that you want to go into. So they're deliberately specific, so you can then go into a career and will boost your career in that way. So we're deliberately always thinking about ways of enhancing your career, which I'll talk about soon with the dedicated careers team, who are there also to make sure that you go on and do well and go into the career that you want to, because basically that's the reason you're going to do a master's, is to enhance your career, make yourself more employable. We'll also touch on the Global Alumni Network, who really help with that as well, with the careers move. There will be a real useful network to use to enhance your career. And then I'll also introduce the Global Leadership Program as well before handing over to Yola. Okay. So talking about our ranking, so we are consistently within the Financial Times and Economist top 50 rankings, well-established university here in Ireland. And there's a few programs there as well. Our programs at the business school, you can see supply chain management 12th in the world, SEMS International Management 17th in the world, and our business analytics, marketing, finance and management are all in the top 40 in the world. So when you come here, rest assured you're going to get a high quality education that's globally recognized. So that's the first thing to introduce about our school. This is a little thing that I always like to show. I always think it's very useful, this, and you can find this on the website as well. If you just go to the UCD Smurfit website, click Masters, and then there is a What Am I Eligible For tab there. So what am I eligible for? This is very clear. So this gives you a little idea of all the programs we have, divided into sort of their sections. So you've got accounting there, finance, management and marketing. And then just by looking at this, you can then go along the top and see, what is your background in, what is your qualification, and then you can see what program you can apply for. So this just gives you a little breakdown of what you can and can't do. It's not to say that you definitely can't do anything. There is exceptions. As mentioned, I'm an admissions manager, so we do see people coming from outside the normal lanes, but there's got to be perhaps maybe some work experience involved. But this is just a clear and easy way of seeing, what might be suitable for you first and foremost. Because some programs, especially sort of finance, you do need a bit of quantitative or financial background to be able to do one of those programs. So this gives you an idea here of all the different programs that are available for you. And as I mentioned before, they're trying to be as specific as possible. So you can see here in the finance section, you've got financial data science, quantitative finance, sustainable finance. So depending on what kind of industry or work you want to go into. Same with management as well. You've got management consultancy, project management, strategic management. So whatever kind of career work you want to go into, we're trying to adhere to that. So moving on, networking opportunities. Ireland has this idea of 2 degrees of separation. It's much closer here. It's much more connected. The networking opportunities are much stronger. You might be able to tell I'm actually British originally, but here, since I've moved here, the networking community is much stronger here. There's a lot more connections made here in Ireland compared to where I'm from anyway. And so this alumni network is something that's really curated and worked on at UCD Smurfit, and we'll try and connect you with these alumni and get them to help you. So we have an alumni team. We regularly interact with alumni. We use alumni a lot. And I think there's nothing better than hearing from the alumni to explain about the school and also sort of build those connections, help you build your career. This is just some example of the employers that our graduates have gone on to work for. So this is why it's so important to have these good alumni, these good connections here. So then you can sort of reach out as a fellow, I'm also studying at Smurfit, build these connections, and then you've got these sort of inroads, these links. And so because we have alumni everywhere throughout the country in a lot of major industries, there is those connections that will really help you in starting your career, getting a foothold, maybe getting into one of these companies or careers that you're interested in pursuing. And to help you do that is our dedicated career team. So we have 4 specialized careers managers and support staff, and they are there to help you work out, what you want to do, how you'll get into it, help you in your career journey. And it's in both of our interests to do this. So the careers team are there to help you. It's good for you. That's why you're doing a master's. You want to go on to get a good career, and it also reflects very well on us and our rankings. And so it's very important for both of us, for everybody, to ensure that you have this, career success moving forward. So they're their dedicated career team to help you after you've graduated. Talking about that here, the graduate employability. This is, very important. This is what you're going to want to do. You're wanting to go on and work after your degree. So it's very important that you are employable. And so that's what we're really focused on doing. You can see here, we've been ranked #1 in Ireland for graduate employability 5 years in a row. I haven't skipped 2023 there. It hasn't come out yet. So we've got very good graduate employability rates here. So we're very confident that after you've finished your degree, you'll go on into employment and hopefully do very well with yourself as well. Another sort of a unique point for us as well is this global leadership program that we've introduced. This is an optional program which any master student is eligible to partake in, and it's an extra program, but it reflects very well on you, developing the skills that employers want, and so you can use this in your skill set, and it will teach you to appreciate different cultures, learn critically, leadership skills, especially workplace skills, sort of communication, interview skills, a lot of things that will really help you in your work and career things, which a lot of other, rather than being very theory-based or having things that are just on paper, we're trying to give practical advice that will actually help you when you go into a work environment. So this is a very unique program that we're very proud of. So I would definitely recommend enlisting and joining this program if you come on and study here. So I'll just quickly go on through the application process a little bit as well, because that's my background, and you know, I think it's always very useful wherever you go to know this. And I would say first and foremost as well is research your master's program. Work out exactly what you want to do. As I said before, we've got lots of specialist degrees to make it as specific as possible for the career you want to go in. So first and foremost, you need to work out what career, what job you want to go into, and find the master's program that will suit your needs mostly. So research carefully what you want to do, and then see the careers that you have, and then choose a master's from that. You can apply for more than one program, but I would say, you know, keep it 2 or 3. Any more than that, and you're not clear on what you want to do. And as an admissions manager, I have to say that it doesn't look great. It's best to have a couple of ideas of what you really want to do. So research first and foremost, and then if you want to join us, it's all online. So apply online, documents online. The key documents you'll need to have ready are your academic transcripts. We need those, and your CV as well. So make sure you have those, because we will need to see those. There will also be some references that you'll need to get done, and you will need an English language requirement. Generally, if you're an international student, you can submit that later, but just you need to make it a point that you will submit it later. You'll get sort of a conditional offer based on you submitting that at a later date. So those are the key documents to get ready. There are essay questions that you'll need to do. So make sure you answer those, thoroughly, and show your research in the program. Why do you want to do this program? What are you interested in it for? And where do you see your career going in the future? Because we want to see that you have some idea of the career direction you're heading in. So there's a reason for you doing this program. So that all looks very good in an essay question. And finally, you finish the application and submit. There'll be an application fee, and you've got to make sure you sign the declaration and submit your application. And then it's all done. If you don't do that, if you don't finish the application properly, or you don't submit properly, or you don't do the application fee, there can be reasons that it might come through incomplete. And so it might cause a delay in the processing of your application. So that can delay the application assessment, point number 6 there. So, take your time, do your application carefully, and then we can sort of get through it. If you have any questions along the way, our email's there, smurfit.admissions@ucd.ie, and we're here to help you go through your application, assess it. And if you're not sure about something, just send us an email and somebody will get back to you. Okay. So that's sort of going through the application process, just to help you out there. I'll quickly mention scholarships, because this is always a popular question. We do have a lot of scholarships. Again, similar to the programs, there is a lot of scholarships, and depends on you, your background, where you're coming from. So I would first and foremost recommend checking that website down there, the link, the scholarships. There's a particular scholarships tab. So click that, go have a look, see what scholarships are available for you. We have a lot of merit-based scholarships. If you're coming from a strong academic background, we have sports scholarships. We have the alumni tuition reduction scholarship if you're already studying at UCD, and we have the Aspire scholarships. So we do have a good range of scholarships. Again, similar to application, the earlier you can do it, the better. Show that you're dedicated to it, and then again give reasoning. What's your reasoning for it? What do you bring to the table? And you have to show your reasoning for that. But there's a good amount of scholarships that you can be eligible for. Okay, so I'm just going to hand over to Yola now to talk about moving to Dublin.
Thank you so much, Alistair.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm really delighted to be here and really delighted to see how many people have joined us here today. It's fantastic to see such a big crowd. So I'm taking that a vast majority of participants here today are based outside of Ireland. Not necessarily, but I would imagine a lot of you are. The school, as it is currently, has vast majority of the student population is international. So out of roughly 1,400 students, roughly around 1,000 students are international. So you can imagine how global and how multicultural the school actually is. So we actually don't call ourselves an Irish business school. We call ourselves a global business school, just looking at our student cohort, but also looking at the faculty. So the teaching staff are also staff, the support staff. We're all from all over the world. Like when you look at Alistair, he said he's in the UK. I'm Polish. I've lived here for 25 years and I have worked here in Smurfit School for 25 years. So it's a really vibrant and very global community here. So moving to Dublin, very exciting. For a lot of you, it's probably going to be the first time in Ireland, maybe not for all of you, but maybe if we could move to another slide, Alistair, thank you very much. Let's look, right. So what I would like to mention to you is the support that we have here in place for international students, specifically for international students. We have supports for all students, but I'm just focusing on international students because that's my role, is to support the non-domestic students who come to Dublin and to Ireland from abroad. So in terms of pre-arrival support, as I mentioned to you at the very start, I'm here to support students before you guys arrive. Even before you apply, if you have any questions about moving to Ireland, starting in UCD, being new in Dublin, even before you apply, I'm happy to chat to you, have a Zoom call, respond to your questions, etc., etc. Locally, wherever you live, we have 5 what we call UCD global centers. So that's where UCD staff are based. There's a center that's called Asia Pacific. There's a China Center, Middle East, Africa, Pakistan, and then there's North America and also South Asia. So that's where my colleagues are based, and they're here and they can talk to you there locally on the ground. On top of it, as I mentioned, is my support, International Students Liaison Officer. And we also have a student advisor. That's a colleague of mine who works here in the Smurfit School and looks after students who basically have any difficulties that need support at a kind of a counseling, or if they're going through a bereavement or issues. We're here to support students as well. So it's a really incredibly 360 support that we provide to students. I will be having a lot of webinars together with my team. Will be over the summer months. So starting from April, in April, I'm planning second week of April, there'll be a webinar about accommodation. We will have colleagues from UCD who support off-campus accommodation search engine. There's a colleague from UCD Residences. I will talk you through accommodation, so finding a place to live, which here's a bit of an alert, is not an easy step to go through. Accommodation in Ireland is a very hot topic. Demand definitely surpasses supply. So there's more people looking for a place to live than there's places to live. And I'm just being very honest with you. It's absolutely doable. All our students who are here this year have found a place to live, but it's just something that you need to be aware of and start looking for a place early. So I invite you to the webinar that's happening in April, and there'll be other webinars throughout the summer as well. I'm also about to release what I call my handbook. It's an international students handbook. There's about 60 pages of information for new students who are looking at relocating to Dublin. Alistair, if we could change a slide, please. Thank you. Another thing, and that's the last slide that I have for you guys here, is to mention a stay-back visa. So this is something for students who are non-EU passport holders. So any of you coming to Ireland from outside EU who need a work permit, working rights permission to live in and work in Ireland, after completing master's programs with us, so any master programs that you complete in UCD Smurfit School, as a graduate, you'll be eligible to apply for a stay-back visa, which is a 2-year work visa. It's given to students for 12 months initially, and that if you either are working or if can prove that you're searching for employment, then it's extended another 12 months. There's other names in case you're Googling it or researching it. It's called a stay-back visa, which is kind of an informal name. But another name for it is Stamp 1G, G for George, so Stamp 1G, or a very, very formal, kind of an old name is third level graduate program. So if you're looking for this information, it's Stamp 1G, G for George. And that's something to keep in mind, because if you're looking at relocating to Ireland, you might as well think about, maybe I'll stay and get a job here. I mean, Alistair will have mentioned work opportunities here in Dublin. So absolutely, that's something that you can think of as well. And students coming to us from within the EU do not need any, obviously, work permission. They can live and stay here in Ireland without any permission. So I think that's my last slide, Alistair. Is that correct?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you so much. So we're going to look at frequently asked questions. I'm handing over back to you, Alistair.
Thank you very much, Yola.
Thank you.
But yeah, so just before, we're going to head into a panel discussion in a second, and then the Q&A. But just before that, this is just a few frequently asked questions that we do get. So I'll just answer these just to sort of preempt a few questions that you may have. Can I apply for more than one course? As mentioned before, yes, you can. Don't do too many, couple, 3 best. When should I apply? Sooner the better. Generally, the sooner you can throw your hat in the ring, like with the scholarships, the better. Are there any scholarships? Yes, absolutely. Lots of them. Again, soon as you can apply for that, the better. Generally, it's going to be a lot tighter after June. So we're in good timing at the moment, but things will start to close in June. Spaces will start to close, and there won't be any chance to get a visa as well. How do you accept my place? It's all online. We'll notify you of an offer, and then you usually have to make a small deposit to secure your place. Can I speak to a current student? Absolutely. We have a Uni Buddy system on the website, so you can talk to them, which we highly recommend you do. Talk to the current students, learn more about the program. When do applications close? As mentioned before, it's always rolling based, but things do get a lot tighter. So I'd sort of say, if you are looking at coming in September, you should be applying in the next few months, no later than June, okay? Unless, as Yola mentioned, if you're a non-visa needer, if that makes sense, then you will have more time. Visa is the big issue. That can sort of, won't give you time, and we're aware of that. But if you don't need a visa, it might be slightly more flexible. Documents do I need from application? As mentioned before, transcripts, very important, CV, English language requirements if relevant. What are the entry requirements for MSc programs? We're looking to make sure you've got some relevant background, but it doesn't have to be a business background. A lot of our students come from a non-business background. They want to get into business. Do check, each program is different to the entry requirements. So do check that. But for some, like the finance programs, you will need a certain background. So do check each individual program. Status of your application, you can check that online. It will tell you what is happening with your application. We do try and go through them as quickly as possible, but there are a lot of applications to get through. And if you don't fully submit it, or there's something incomplete, that will delay it. So that's why I was sort of stressing before, fill it in properly. And when can I apply for 2024 programs? Now. You can apply now. The sooner the better. So hopefully that preempts a few questions you may have there. Let's move on to the panel discussion. So I'm going to just close this, and I am joined, here we go, by Manshika and Janita. So thank you very much, guys, for joining me today. Hi, Janita. Hi, Manshi.
Hi.
Oh, yeah. Well, so enough of me talking. How about we hear a bit about you guys and your experiences here. Manshi, how about we start with you? Can you just introduce yourself again and just a little bit about your background, please?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Manchi and I'm from China. Currently, I'm studying digital marketing at UCD, and it is a great business school, I can say, because like I have no business background before, but this program, like, they make the transition very smooth. In the first semester, we have 3 courses in terms of the basic knowledge of marketing knowledge, so that even if you don't have any background in marketing, in business before, you can still like have a stronger stronger foundation in the marketing program. And at the second semester, we move into more practical parts. So currently I'm studying SEO, that's search engine optimization and social media. And we also have AI and all sorts of practical courses. And we also have guest speakers from industries. So at the same time, while you are studying knowledge in school, you can also learn from what professionals are doing in the outside world. So I think that this course fits me really well, especially I have no background in business. So this is the UCD part. And for the Dublin part, this is my first time in Ireland. It is also my first time studying in a foreign country. And I feel like every people I met here is really friendly, and they go out of their way to help you like accommodate here, to like fit into your culture, fit into the Irish culture. So I really recommend you all to like choose UCD and choose to come here and enjoy here. Yeah.
That's lovely. Thank you. It's nice to hear. And Janita as well. Could you just introduce yourself a little bit, please, for everybody?
Yeah, sure. Hey guys, I'm Janita and I'm from India. I did have some experience before I came here. Like I was working in sales, but I wanted to pivot my career into consulting. So I had chosen the course MS in Strategic Management here at UCD Smurfit. This is my first time getting out of India into a new country. But just like Manshika mentioned earlier, UCD Smurfit has been such a great experience. They're really welcoming over here, and any kind of help that you require, they're always there for you. It's not just about your career. Even if you have any medical emergencies, whatever, anything that you can think of, they've already thought about it and they have a system in place. That's the best thing about UCD. And whatever your interests are in extracurricular activities, you have societies for everything, and you have a lot of things happening here apart from your studies as well. So it's a great place to be. That's about it.
Great. Okay, so I guess I've got a few questions that I want to ask you both. I guess the first thing is like, how did you decide to come here to UCD Smurfit and Ireland? Like both of those is quite a big decision for both of you to come to a new country. So let's go back to you, Manchi. How did you come to decide to study here at UCD Smurfit in Ireland?
Yeah, so I will start like why I choose Ireland is first because I want to start a career in a foreign country, and I research around, and I think that first of all, the working permit here in Ireland is really good. When you graduate, you can get like 2 years of visa. You can explore around. You can like try to find work here, and you have 2 years of time. So it is really generous if you compare with other countries. And first, this is the working permit, and the second one is that I found many people saying that Irish people are really friendly. They don't like they would like welcome you, and this is also the experience for me here. And so this is why I choose Ireland in the first case, and why I choose UCD Smurfit is also because when I search around, I talk to students studying in business school before, and they all say to me that UCD Smurfit is the right place for you to start because it had the best courses in Ireland, and it also connects you to all the professionals in Ireland. And yeah, this also the same I feel here. Yeah, this is basically what I'm thinking.
Great, yeah, that's good to hear. And Janita, yeah, same questions for you. So yeah, why UCD Smurfit and why Ireland?
Yeah, so I had a few countries in mind when I was trying to choose my next step in my career. But I chose Ireland because I didn't want to go to an overcrowded place like UK or US. I really wanted to go to a country in Europe which is not too crowded as well. But the other reason was because Ireland is the hub, like tech hub in Europe. And I was working in software companies before I came here. So that's one of the main reasons I chose Ireland, because there's Google, there's Meta, there's Microsoft, there's all the big names here in Dublin. And I also heard from a lot of alumni whom I was friends with before that Smurfit is the place to be because they really help you develop both personally and professionally. Like the career development center that you mentioned, that's been really helpful for me because I've booked appointments to get my resumes reviewed or to just get some general advice about how my next step should look like. Everything, like they're there to guide you, and that's not something that many universities do, is what I heard. So for these two reasons, I had chosen Smurfit actually.
That's great. And it's good to hear. I mean, I can absolutely agree with the work permit stuff as well. Me and my wife is non-EU. Being from the UK, it is easier here. It is more welcoming. Being part of Europe is a draw. Yeah. Being part of an EU, again, speaking as somebody who's, anyway, being part of Europe, I think is a very strong draw for being in Ireland, absolutely. Okay, so my next question is, what were your expectations before you came here? Did you have many expectations of the university or life in Ireland? So what were your expectations, and were they similar to what it actually happened, or is it quite different? So yeah, Manchi, back to you. What were your expectations before you came?
My first expectation that I would like experience many different cultures, and that's the same. And when I come here, I feel like I am included. In at UCD Smurfit, we have global leadership program, and it is like it has many people from different cultures, and on the important festivals of each culture, Business Smurfit will celebrate them. And it is really good because you can experience different culture everywhere, every time. And when we talk, we also have many international students here. So when I talk to them, I can also learn from their cultures, learn from like how to interact with people with different cultural backgrounds. So this is my first expectation, and it is met. And the second expectation is that I would have a stronger foundation in marketing knowledge, and I will also learn more about marketing practices, especially the forefront, the most leading marketing practices. And that's the same here, because like as I said before, in the first semester we have marketing foundation courses, And our three professors, they all have like many years background in the area they study, they teach. So I learned a lot from them. And the second master, you can have guest speakers from everywhere, from every industries. And you also know like, well, if when I graduate, which direction should I go? Which area you want to like develop in your future career? You have and you can also connect with them. Yeah. So this basically the two major expectations I had before I came, and it's all met. Yeah.
That's good. Good to hear. Thanks. Janita, how about yourself? What were your expectations?
Yeah, so my expectation was to be in a diverse environment with a lot of smart people from different backgrounds, and that was met. Yes, my class is has a good mix of people from other European countries, Irish people, and some Asian people as well. And I was also looking forward to having a practical approach towards teaching, which was met as well. It's more of case study analysis, and the professor gives you the opportunity to work on good projects as part of the subject, and you get to apply what you're studying in those projects. So that was really great for me, and the case studies that they gave us were also really good. And everything here is Harvard style, which was really impressive, which I really love. And my other expectation was to have the opportunity to experience like doing different kinds of things, like joining the dance club or the singing club or the international soccer club. And there was a Harry Potter Society club, and there's like anything if you feel like you want to do this, it's just there in Smurfit. So that's an amazing thing. The only thing I did not expect was the weather, how the weather changes so quickly. That was something I was not warned about, but everything else has been great.
That's yeah. I mean, that's the weather is very changeable. I mean, yeah, I was a little bit more prepared for that. It's not too dissimilar from where I'm. Yeah. Okay, great. And then I guess my final question to you both would be, what would you say to somebody who's sort of, thinking about coming in, they're not sure, what would you say to them, or words of encouragement, or about your experience? So somebody's not sure about it. Back to you, Manji.
What I'm saying is that it is a good choice. It is really a good choice. So just come. Don't think too much. It will really like exceed your expectation, really. Yeah.
That's great. And Janita, for yourself as well?
Yeah, sure. I would say if you're not really sure yet, you should just think about what you really want to do. If you are a person who is driven, who is hardworking, and who is looking to take the next big step in your career, in your life, I would say Smurfit is the place to be, because Smurfit will open the door to a lot of opportunities which you would not imagine. So, like you'll have career fairs, internship fairs. You go to the main campus, you get to talk to the students there as well. Like everything is here, you know. So just don't doubt it. Just go for it.
Well, thanks so much, guys. It's been really, really helpful to hear from you. And as I said before, if you want to go and talk to a student as well, I highly recommend that, reaching out. It's always best to hear from the students' experience themselves, what it's actually like. So I really appreciate that, guys, for coming and sharing your thoughts with us all today. Let's move on to the questions, because we can see there is quite a backlog here. So let's try and get through some of these. I'm sorry, we might not be able to get through all of them, but we'll give it a go. Okay. So I've got here, I've done a bachelor's in commerce from India, and am I eligible for MSBA course? So I'd like to answer this question. Really depends on what course you're doing in particular. Yeah, again, as I mentioned before, very important to sort of check, because course by course, program by program, there are different requirements. So generally, if it's the equivalent of an honours degree, so 3 or 4 years studied, and you know, pretty good grades, then you should be fine. Okay, but I would have to check that application by application. Okay, let's keep going through these, and then I'd like to ask how to apply for a scholarship program, and what would be the possible requirements we need to prepare. Again, there's a lot of scholarships, so it really depends what scholarship you'll be applying for. The best thing to do is sort of state your case. You know, what is the reason for your scholarship? What do you bring to the table? And it depends. If you're doing a merit-based scholarship, then it's going to be more based on your merit. So it will depend on the scholarship, but just answer thoroughly, and think of it like, you know, job application or anything you're doing. Answer those questions with good thought. Do we have other scholarships? Yeah, that was mentioned. Plenty of scholarships. How do you measure employability? It's a good question. So it's not actually us. I think they do it on a few factors, where it's how quickly you go into work. So they want to see you sort of employed within sort of 3 months, I think it is. And then they also, in the rankings as well, they check salary as well. So often it's how quickly you're being employed, but also the salary, and that's reflected in the rankings. So you can check the QS employability rankings, and they will judge the universities by, I think, particularly those 2 factors: how quickly they're being employed and what salary they're going into. So obviously, the higher the salary, the better the ranking. Yeah, we don't actually measure that, because it would be the others who are doing it. But it's a good question, that. I am currently in my final year. So I want to apply for use graduate. Do I need to complete? No. So no, it's a good question. So do I need to complete my degree? A lot of you will be studying at the moment. So if you're finishing your bachelor's, you'll probably be graduating in June or July. That's fine. It will be the same as before. We'll do, as I mentioned before, sorry, conditional offer. So we will look at your transcripts, what grade you're predicted to get, and then we'll set something that you should be getting at your undergraduate level. And then once you've completed your undergraduate degree, you'll have to send us your final transcripts and diploma to show that you've achieved the conditions that we've set. So you'll have to send that to us once you've completed it. And then once you've done that and you meet the conditions, then you're eligible to come in September. So if you are studying now, as long as you'll be finished and graduated in time. So if you're studying at the moment, you can absolutely come in September. I have 2 questions. Is it possible to apply for more than one master's program? Yes, it is. As I said, though, like if there's a couple of programs you're interested in, that's great. It does help. Put a preference, what you're more interested in, because honestly, as an admissions manager myself, if you're applying for lots of programs, I don't think it looks very good. It shows that you don't really know what you want to do. So if there's a couple of programs or 3 that you're interested in, fine, that's good. But I think anything higher than that, you're starting to show that you're a little bit unsure of what you want to do. So if there is a few programs that you're very interested in, you're more than welcome to apply for those. But I wouldn't say it would enhance your chances. How much time do we have until we can accept the offer for a master's program? It depends case by case, but usually it's 2 weeks to accept the offer. So if once we make an offer to you, it might be a full offer, it might be a conditional offer, but within 2 weeks, you have to make a decision and come back to us. There might be a little bit of leeway if you email, but generally 2 weeks is what's required. You need to make a decision within 2 weeks and let us know. Otherwise, then the offer can't be guaranteed. Right, let's keep going. There we go. Tuition fees. Again, check program by program. The fees will change from program to program and also from where you're from. So go and check very carefully where you're from. There's different fees. Installment payment are allowed, but fees would handle that. But yes, installment payments are fine, but check your program and where you're from because the fees do change. I have a degree from Oxford University. Do I need an English entry exam? If you did a full degree, emphasis there on full, a full degree in an English-speaking country, then generally you're exempt. There are requirements there where you studied, and it has to be a full degree as well. So we do check exactly where you studied. They are quite strict on English language requirement. So there are exemptions, but if you studied at Oxford for the full years, the full 3 years, then yes, you would be exempt from the English entry exam. Application fee waived? No, generally no. That's just sort of that's a processing fee that does need to be completed, I'm afraid. So occasionally there might be some exemptions given, or if you're coming through an agent, they might have an exemption that they can do for you. But if you're doing the application by yourself, then I'm afraid the application fee won't be waived. Let's have a look. Scholarship available for me, yes. For PhDs, that's quite a lot different. You'd need to go and contact specific. There is a separate page for PhDs. I've been focusing mainly on the master's programs today. So if you are interested in a PhD, there is different channels, and you have to reach out to professors that might be able to help you with your research. So that's kind of a different. There is a page on PhDs on the website to have a look at that, but I haven't really got much time to cover PhDs today, I'm afraid. Scholarships, a lot of them are first come, first served. Some of them do have deadlines, and also we do have to award them as well. So we start awarding them quite soon. So yes, generally the earlier you can express an interest in a scholarship, the better. So it will be harder to get a scholarship if you're waiting till the end of the year to apply. Can I study as an MBA course? MBA, very important is your work experience. Do you have work experience? Are you looking to upgrade into sort of more managerial role? If you are, then MBA could be for you. So we're looking for people who have a bit more work experience. You won't generally, for our MBAs, you won't be able to do a bachelor's and go straight into it. We're looking for people with work experience, preferably managerial. That's an option for you if you're interested in doing one of our MBAs. For something, if needs maths, what type of evidence? So that's why the transcripts are very important. We want to see your transcripts to see what university level background you have in quantitative or maths skills. So that's why we often ask to see your transcripts, or maybe we'll ask you to do a GMAT test to check your mathematics skills. Okay. Have they offered an admission and deposit made as qualification checks still apply to you? The qualifications will all be checked. So we have a verification process that will be handled on our end. Everything is online now, so submit all your documents online and they will go through the verification checks. So we will do that. Okay, it's good to see so many questions here. There's quite a lot. I think I've got through most of them here. Is it compulsory to have experience before I apply? No, only for the MBA. MBA is the only one where you need work experience. Everything else, you don't have to have a business background. You just we need to see your university undergraduate background. Okay. Okay. Is there any Yola, do you see any other questions you think that need to be addressed that
I have answered a few
Yeah.
of them basically by typing them in.
Yeah.
So I don't think that there's anything that's to do with relocation to Ireland that there needs to be answered.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, there was nothing you wanted to answer. Okay. Oh, there's one about facilities like gym, pool, etc. Oh, what I could mention, actually, we haven't mentioned is, so we are actually a separate campus. So we're on Blackrock, and there's also UCD main campus, and we're the business schools are separate. And there is a free shuttle bus which links the two, and it takes about 15 minutes. And there's loads of facilities there, even more than what we have here. So you're welcome to go onto the main campus and use the facilities. A lot of those facilities, you would need to pay for those. There's a, Yola, sorry, we're going to say something?
No, I was just going to say that there was a question about accommodation, and I did answer it, and I said that we have one house of residence here on the Blackrock campus, which is the UCD Smurfit School campus. It's quite small, very green by the sea, and that's where all the graduate business masters and PhD programs are based. All other students in UCD are based on the main campus, which is about 4 kilometers away from where we're based. And that's where a lot of facilities are, like the likes of what you mentioned, the pool, the gym, societies. It's a very, very vibrant. It's a huge campus with its own kind of a woodworking park area. So fabulous facilities. And I would always encourage people to live on the main campus as well, because it just opens your opportunities. You meet more people. You just get a more of a 360 experience. You don't just hang out with business students. You just meet other students as well.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Yeah. There's a few questions about GMATs and GREs. It really depends on your background if that's required or not. So often for the MBA, GMAT is required, but other courses, it depends on your background. We might request one if we don't believe you have enough quantitative skills in your transcripts. I've got a couple of questions here, and then I'll wrap things up because we're almost at an hour. Can I work while studying? Possibly, depends on your visa, first and foremost. If you can make it work.
Can I answer that, Alistair?
Absolutely.
So obviously, a student coming from the EU, they can live and work in Ireland with no limitations. For students who are holders of non-EU passport, on the student visa, that's called Stamp 2. So on Stamp 2, you can work part-time while studying. So you can work up to 20 hours during the academic year. In the summer, so the whole month of June, July, August, September, so 4 months, you can work full-time. So after you kind of towards the end of your studies, your summer term, because our masters tend to be 12 months, so a year-long program. So you'll be still studying in the summer, but you will be able to work full-time June, July, August, September. And then end of September, you can apply for the Stamp 1G, which is the post-completion working rights visa as well, the ones I mentioned earlier. Over back to you, Alistair.
Great, thank you. Yeah, that's said much better than I can. Yes, there's quite a lot of questions here. I don't think we're going to be able to get through all of them, but if you do have any questions, please, I would say there's quite a few emails that you can contact, but also I would just say the best ones I mentioned before, smurfit.admissions@ucd.ie. And that's just for general inquiries that we're here to help you through that sort of application process at the beginning, or we can then forward you on to somebody who might be able to answer your question in more detail if need be. Okay, so I'd recommend that email for any general inquiries. I'm sorry I couldn't get through all of these questions, but it's good to see so many pouring in. So yeah, I guess I'll to wrap things up there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for your really interesting presentation and also for the debate with the students. I've sent in the link in the chat, sorry, some useful links that the students can see to receive more information. I would also like to add that we will send you an email with more information and some contacts. So you can ask them all your questions and you will receive an answer, of course. I've shared with you also the link to get the certificate of attendance for this free masterclass. And so thank you so much for your good participation, and thank to all the panelists for their presentation and their presence here with us today. And of course, I hope to see you again in the next webinar organized by DocCity in partnership with UCD. And I wish you a really nice day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everybody, for
Thank you.
attending. Bye-bye.